room is electrifying. I can see desire burning hotly like coals in people's eyes when they look at me. I can see them undressing me. The smoldering gazes of women compulsively crossing and uncrossing their legs, men grinding their molars while sweat forms in hot beads on their brows, teenage girls digging their nails into the palms of their hands, their lips parted, their eyes wet with desire. Yes, there is no one else like me. There is no one else like me. In the supermarket, I was at the counter when the checkout girl, looking at me, her pupils going wide and then up into her skull, fainted dead away.
Touch me while I'm touching you, and kiss me while I'm kissing you, and love me while I'm loving you, and do me while I'm doing you.
The other day, I went to a coffee center and was set upon by a number of women who tore off my clothes and carried me to the Xerox machine, where they held me down against the glass in order to make multiple reproductions of my face, the undersides of my hands and feet, my buttocks, the soft under portion of my arms, the crook of my elbow, and the flesh behind my ears.
Touch me. Wow. Wow. Wow.
I remember a few weeks ago when I was presenting a financial summary for the restructuring of debt to leverage a corporate takeover. The executive vice president, an attractive woman in her late 30s, became entirely distracted. Her hands fidgeted, and she bit her lip as her eyes raced up and down my body. I could feel the heat of her excitement through her clothing. And then, suddenly, she ripped open her blouse and skirt, the buttons cascading noisily on the surface of the highly polished conference table, and leapt at me. Her garter, having been caught on the underside of her chair, snapped her involuntarily back into place. But undaunted, she crawled forward, dragging the chair behind her, and grabbed me by my ankles. Her mouth flecked with foam, her eyes wide and wild, her hair matted with perspiration. She begged me, "Take me right here on this floor. Now, give me your strength, your overwhelming tower of pleasure, the cathedral of your love. I need the vast ocean liner of pleasure of which you are the captain. You have no idea how many nights I've thought about making love to you. I need you so badly. To hold back from me is to ruin my life. All I ask is for simple union, to be one with you. Let our coming together produce the kind of critical mass bound for an earth-shaking explosion that will release potentials never before imagined."
Touch me while I'm touching you, and kiss me while I'm kissing you, and love me while I'm loving you, and do me while I'm doing you, and touch me while I'm touching you, and kiss me while I'm kissing you, and love me while I'm loving you, and do me while I'm doing you.
Sometimes, when I come home to my apartment, I look out and see rows of people in the building across the way with binoculars, telescopes, video cameras, night vision enhancers, and parabolic microphones pointed in my direction. As soon as they see me, they become instantly animated. Can you imagine what it's like to see naked men and women dancing seductively and gesturing obscenely at you from their windows? Do you have any idea how awful this is? How my life has become a living hell? Oh God, why did you curse me with such a gorgeous face, such good health and strength? Why have you given me so many admirable qualities? You test my faith on a daily basis. These gifts are unendurable. some mummy-like gauze around my head and gloves so that people wouldn't see the refinement of my hands, and stuck a pillow beneath my shirt in order to suggest I had a protruding gut, and wore an unkempt white wig, and affected a limp, and walked with a cane, and yet, in spite of that, I radiated an invisible energy I couldn't disguise, and was set upon by a crowd of strangers in the street, who piled on top of me, kissing and hugging and caressing me, kissing and hugging and caressing me, kissing and hugging and caressing me. It's awful. It's demeaning. It's as though people are handling an object, not a human being, which I am. I am a person. I am somebody. I am me.
So it's kind of interesting that when you ask people what is the relationship between the size of bonus that we give somebody and their motivation to work and their performance, people think that both of these relationships are positive. You give people higher bonuses, you promise them higher bonuses, they will try harder, and then they'll actually become more successful. They'll produce further. And of course, the recent financial recession should get us to pause a little bit and think, is this really the case? Now, it's actually very hard to test. So we try to create an experiment, because in real life, you can't examine this to the same degree.
You mean actually seeing whether bonuses make people work better?
That's right. So imagine the following experiment with 3 conditions. Condition 1, we give you 6 tasks. Each of them lasts a few minutes. In total, they last about an hour. And I say, if you do very well on all of these 6 tasks, I'll give you 1 day of compensation, whatever you make in a regular day. If you do half of them well, I'll give you half a day compensation, a third, and so on. In another condition, I say, if you do those well, I'll give you 2 weeks of compensation. And in a third condition, I say, if you do those 6 things well, I'll give you 5 months of compensation. Now we're talking real money.
Right.
And the question is, what would happen to your desire to succeed, and what will happen to your actual ability to succeed? What would happen to your desire to succeed, and what will happen to your actual ability to succeed? And it's not a big secret to think that the more money I promise you, the more you will try. But the question is, will you succeed?
Now, we have to say here that to actually conduct this experiment, to come even to NPR, needless to say not to Wall Street, you could run into some money offering people several months compensation.
That's right. NPR is easier than Wall Street, but we actually created the experiment in India. And what happened? What happened is that despite the fact that people want to succeed more when they get the 5-month salary, they actually succeeded to a much lower degree. In fact, there was one task in which about 43% of the people got it right when we got them the low level of bonus, but at the high level of bonus, only 4% got it right.
And the tasks were no more difficult at the higher level?
No, they were exactly the same. They were exactly the same task. 43% of the people got it right when we got them the low level of bonus, but at the high level of bonus, only 4% got it right.
And the tasks were no more difficult at the higher level?
No, they were exactly the same. They were exactly the same task. So everybody did the same task. And the way to think about it is, imagine I told you that if you will be really funny in the next 10 minutes, I'll give you $100,000. It's a motivator. When we get more money, we want to do better, but it's also a stressor in the sense that the more money creates more stress. Now, in simple tasks, if I told you I'll pay you to jump, and I gave you either $1 per jump or $1,000 per jump, you will jump more because you have good control over your muscles, and you can just will yourself into higher effort. But when it comes to creativity and problem solving and thinking and memory and concentration, it turns out you can't will yourself to a higher level of performance. And instead, the high bonus actually got people to be very stressed. Yeah, so, I went to give a talk to some bankers, and they said exactly that, right? They said, oh, no, you do experiments on regular little people, and we are super special people. We thrive on stress to such a degree that there's not enough money in the world to get it. We would never get to that. And I'm experimenting. And I proposed to them that they would give us enough research
getting to.